has been a little while. But in our last session, the group of Ginny, Arvin, and Alaric, they had to deal with that whole situation with, yeah, let's just not talk about the hill, about that giant. Let's just not. But then the group decided to set up camp. It was in the night, so they set up camp. They spoke a little bit with Henry, who's still acting a little off and like scared and a little strange. But, well, he explained a little bit about those strange little gem thingies that he has, and that he set up a parameter around camp, and that it would alarm him if something would come within the boundaries of the camp. And, well, it was near a cliff, so you had actually also a pretty good view. Because remember that Hyenakin is still somewhere out there. Night fell, and of course there was a watch. In the middle of the night, Ginny and a few of the others also noticed a fox keeping an eye out on you. A white, fluffy, cute fox. And suddenly there were two. Eventually, Ginny decided to approach the foxes and noticed that one of them was pretty wounded. Healing the foxes up, when she communicated with them, yeah, something was up. And that big storm in the background was getting bigger and bigger. Didn't feel right. Eventually, Ginny woke up the others and Henry, and they decided to help the foxes, which meant going into the woods where they encountered, as fast as lightning, a creature that was completely covered in electricity and going at like the speed of sound. And it seemed to be a boar that was affected by something. And when Ginny tried to reach out for what it was trying to say, she could only sense that it was in pain, and that the best thing to do was to put it out of its suffering, because it was being affected by some kind of elemental magic, which Henry did talk about. He read something about his book that in this region, like storms and runes and things are going on. Eventually, these three managed to find where the foxes were supposed to be, but one of those cute foxes was missing. And well, they heard a yelp coming from the actual stormborn boar that was like running through the forest, and somehow, almost magnetically, one of those foxes just was adhered to the actual stormborn. They managed to slow it down and catch it through some other types of rune magic that completely shut down that combat. And you managed to rescue the little fox, reuniting all the foxes together, and also find a strange kind of like rune encrusted on the stone. And when one touched it, some kind of strange power was coursing through them. So, one of you has a strange dice, one of you has a strange rune with kind of powerful magic, and somebody adopted 7 foxes. Or 6. 6 or 7 foxes. It doesn't matter, you just have a bunch of foxes now. No, 7. It's gonna be 7. If it was 6, it's now 7. But,
they multiplied overnight.
But you have brought the foxes back to the camp. Henry was like, why? It's really cute, but why? And well, the group returned back to camp. They decided to take their long rest. Although the rest wasn't that quiet, because those foxes were of course going to make noise, and some of them complained about being hungry. And so we are going to pick up very early in the morning, because those foxes ate your entire food supply. Meaning that somebody, well, almost the entire food supply, Henry kept some in stock, means that we are going to focus for a little moment on someone that is out hunting for some meat very early in the morning. Who would want to go? Who would want to volunteer of these 3?
I don't, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't think it's smart for me to hunt animals.
Yeah,
I
the
suppose.
gathering could be included also. In the
Yeah,
plans,
but they need probably some food, some meat.
I have a bow.
Okay. And Alaric will remain at camp.
Yeah.
Then ignore what's currently on the map, that's just your camp setup. But we're going to quickly, just very early in the morning, skulk through a forest. You left early, it's still not even dawn yet. And you are slowly going through the forest. How would you try to hunt for an animal? What are you thinking? What are your feelings regarding last night? Perhaps.
I think I'm first focused at the task at hand for food. And I'm probably looking for like broken branches, footprints in the sand, mud.
Make either a survival or nature check, whichever you prefer.
I think I will pick. Have we do without each
Nature or survival?
Just do the 6.
6. You don't really seem to notice any tracks in particular. In this current moment while traveling through the forest, you could head up further a little bit north, away from the camp, or you could go to either the east or the west. So kind of like more roaming around the camp.
Do I hear water nearby?
Make a perception check.
Good question.
Very good question. Because that's a clever question, I'll give you advantage.
That's the second one. 21.
Oh, 21. Yes, you do hear a little creak further up north. It was probably in the same direction of where that storm bore was, not that far away. You could go check out the creek.
I'll probably check it out. Because water means usually animals.
Mm-hmm. You're stealthy enough to sneak up to it. And at the moment that you arrive at the creek, you do spot one, like a little bit more of an oversized hare, like nibbling on some grass nearby the river. On the other hand, on the other side of the river, there's a bigger, kind of like almost like big elk. Neither of them have spotted you yet. The elk would be more meat.
But also harder to move.
Harder to move, yeah.
So I'll go for the hare.
You'll go for the hare. Okay. Slowly grabbing your bow. Make an attack roll.
Don't tell me it will survive. 16 plus 5 is 21. Oh no, I'm reminded of that video of the bird.
That's the cutest motherfucker thing I've seen.
The deer of the elk, and it quickly runs off.
As expected.
Do you grab your prize?
Yes.
Okay.
It was very
Well,
funny.
it was a very clean hit. However, you do realize Henry probably still has some supplies left, but there are
I need another one.
yeah, there are 4 mouths to feed, and well, plus 7. So, and the foxes eat a lot. I think you need a second buddy at least. So, do you head further away from the forest, from the camp?
I think I'll sneak towards where the elk went. Maybe it has more of its kind somewhere around.
Let's see you make another perception check. 20. Okay.
Not a nat 20, but
Not a nat 20.
a dirty.
Well, that elk is already long gone. But you do, at where you saw the elk, and you head a little bit further away, you do find like a very strange marking on the ground, like the imprint of like a giant paw. Please make a nature check or a history check, whatever you're better at.
Neither.
4.
Could be like a big wolf or something. Not really from this particular region, even though you have spent some time here already. Well, make another quick perception check if you perhaps find another bunny.
12.
12. Let's see if the bunnies are stealthy. Skulk up a little bit further up ahead in the forest. And once again, another brownish, ears up. Another big hair sitting right there.
Is there anything else near it?
Not that you notice. It's just kind of nibbling on grass.
Then I'm going to hunt.
Okay. Shoot again.
A dirty 20.
I do all.
It really is bunny season.
It is bunny season.
Should have went for the elk.
But hey, now you've got 2. So it's a little bit better. But you now also notice like birds are skirping up. So this area is now not very huntable anymore because the birds, you hear crows make noise.
Holding my hunting hounds.
I can't really do a good crow, but make a nature check for me, please.
Zo wordt het steeds slechter, jongen.
2. Everything that I'm bad at goes worse.
You notice a pattern in the crows, like but you have. It feels a little odd, but there's some kind of pattern in the crow's cries. But now you've got at least 2 bunnies, 2 big hares. Could probably suffice for another day, because, like we've mentioned before, Henry also keeps some supplies in reserve in his little bag on the side, because he's supposed to stay there at the camp while you all return. So, at least now you have some food more. Do you return back to camp? Okay. As you are making your way slowly back to camp, the sun is coming up. You wake up. Ginny wakes up. I think these 2 probably wake up from the as the foxes are kind of making their way around the camp. I think the mother fox will probably keep all the little foxes in check. And stay there, and stay there. What's Alaric doing? How is Alaric feeling?
Probably a little bit. It's not like he's not well rested, but a little bit groggy perhaps, because we were up in the night and rescued a bunch of foxes and had a violent interaction with some natural being. So Alaric is maybe a little bit groggy.
But they did have one of those runes that are similar to yours. Which felt a little strange.
Yeah. Good thing the rune magic did what it was supposed to be doing. But it's all a bit strange and vague, but I'm not sure if Alaric is really concerned about that. We still have a job to do. Mm-hmm. So I suppose he gets up, dusts himself off, maybe do a few stretches and stuff, and
one of those foxes comes up to your leg.
Ooh, scratches the fox. How cute.
And it just skips off to the others.
Oh, I suppose.
Ginny is probably already like getting herself ready. She may be tending to the little campfire with like a big pot in it. Do you want to check that out, or do you want to check in on Henry, who's still?
What's
in his
Henry
tent?
doing?
His tent is still up, so hasn't. It's not outside of the tent. You see like a little light on in the tent as well, probably like a light spell.
He's probably reading again.
Maybe you could check up with him. Or do you want to check out what Ginny is doing?
Maybe Laura just walks over to Ginny and checks out what she's doing.
And Ginny is indeed preparing her spells. Is she
Morning,
swapping?
Ginny.
Yeah, I swapped. What the fuck was his name now? The absorb element.
Mhm.
Absorb element. And I changed it with Moonbeam because I couldn't find anything else.
Oh, okay, sure. Why not?
Need that.
As you've prepared your spells for the morning. Right now, you are in a position that you were tending a little bit to the fire, and you were picking up a big food pot. Just before you headed back to the camp, you found a few herbs alongside of the edges of the forest. You have three options. You can make a potion of growth, a potion of reduce, or a healing potion.
I would like to make a healing potion.
Okay. Make a herbalist kit check.
That is just
D20 plus your
D20.
wisdom.
That's a 11.
Mm-hmm. Plus your wisdom.
Oh no, then it's 10.
Oh, that's 10. Okay. Well, a 10 is the DC for this, so it like there's this little bit of a foul smell coming from this healing potion, but like
Ginny, I'm not sure, but I think your soup is going wrong.
Well, it's a healing potion and it tastes amazing, trust me.
no, it doesn't.
Ugh.
I know.
Yeah, like no.
Oh, I don't need it.
It kind of almost smells like a little bit like rotten cheese or something.
It does its job, okay?
Yeah, I'm glad I still have one of my own. But thanks, just in case.
Just in case. Okay. So,
Two of them.
You guys have still
Nee, ik heb het volgens mij nog maar één.
je hebt er wel één gebruikt. Heb je er nog twee?
Ik heb hem niet gebruikt.
Okay. That's good. Alrighty, moving on. Eventually, you notice that someone is returning with like two hares. Like,
Ah, some fresh meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ginny is a vegetarian. It's like, yay.
Why don't you go forage for mushrooms or something?
Well, usually some berries are always highlight of the day.
You could. You still want to head out quickly?
Yeah. I guess that's
food
good
for
for
foxes.
Could have done good berry. That would be easy.
If you really quickly want to change to Goodberry, I'll allow you.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Do you quickly want to go forage a little bit?
Yeah. I'll just do that on my own. Just let the foxes
Okay.
deal with the job.
One of the foxes may because you probably walk away. Like kind of like yanked from your leg.
I'll just real quick, just some berries. More food for you.
It doesn't understand you.
And then I'll just take him with me. I'll just grab him and
Okay, make a quick animal handling check.
Net all income.
that's it. 30.
13. Okay, well, the little fox, because they kind of like feel kind of enamored with this group, And like you portray like an aura with all your little these two theorems. Maybe the foxes like keep a little bit of distance from Henry, but you three they seem enamored with you. So kind of the fox perhaps like kind of like drapes itself onto your shoulder. It's of course a little fox, more like a kid.
Yeah.
I think that one of the big foxes like there's like an instinctive
Yeah.
sense. You better be careful with my little kid. But it comes along with you. Does Arvin point her in the direction where he came from, or does she find her own way?
No,
Probably point towards the creek because that's usually where also food is near.
Okay. Then Ginny also heads towards the creek. Doesn't take that long for her as well. And she can make a quick nature check or survival.
I feel both like me, right?
mine are a bit better. That's a 10.
A 10. Okay, with a 10. Well, in this region, especially now that you're a little bit further away from Gentle Breeze, and you're coming up to a very big valley soon, yeah, you could perhaps find some winter berries or something. So, okay. You head up a little bit further into to by at the edges of the creek, and there you kind of like try to like you find any particular good bushes, and well the fox. So make a perception check with advantage.
That's a 23 and a 24.
Oh, okay. Like the fox like and then you look over and indeed you find like a big bush with like all kinds of like berries at like the top edge because also you know that you should never take the berries at the bottom. But yeah, you find like a few berries, probably not enough to sustain you for an entire day, but could certainly work like a big pile.
I'll give one to the small one and then quickly head back.
Okay. You hear a noise from behind you, but you decide to ignore it?
That's the direction of the camp or the other direction?
The other direction.
Okay, I'll quickly head back to the camp.
Okay. You. And then you quickly head back. Coming back with at least like a pile, you probably put them in a little bag or something. Okay. I would count that as like half a ration, but yeah. In the meantime, what are you doing to prepare yourself? You want to perhaps like sharpen your weapon again a little bit? You have your sharpening stone.
Question. Maybe just ironing out the dents, I suppose.
Or do you want to check up on Henry?
Well, he's still doing God knows what in his tent. So, what?
That was the noise that was coming from his direction.
All right,
Then
calm down. I was still going to say something. So after Alaric helps Arvin butcher the unusually
large hairs.
meaty hairs.
You notice some of the foxes are like.
No. Watch it.
Could give them like I don't know, like a little bit of the inside.
Maybe some butchery debris. Heads over to the tent, and then it's vibrating.
You hear something at least vibrate, like it was a very strange noise. I don't think Alaric knows what a vibrating thing is, but it made a strange noise.
Henry, you in there?
Yeah.
You ready for the day? We found some meat.
Oh. Okay. I don't really like meat, but sure. I'll be coming out just a second. Just finishing my scroll.
Right. All right, we'll be preparing some food.
Thanks!
Strange man.
After finishing the butchering and now probably cooking it, like eventually Henry comes out of his tent and like starts like removing the tent. He had like his own personal tent, so he knows how to do that. Oh, I didn't sleep that well. How are you doing?
Oh, fine. It was a bit of a rough night, but
Oh, you can say that again.
we managed. Got some travel ahead of us.
You notice for some reason that like Henry's like his cheeks are like very red. You notice the same too when Henry kind of like got very agitated in the forest and like his eyes like sparked up. And that little bit of like reddishness in his face hasn't just gone away. It's still there.
You okay there?
Yeah?
Is he lying?
Make an insight check. He
Wait
just
a
said
minute,
yeah.
wait a minute.
He just said yeah to you.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as you can tell, there is nothing of lying. He just said yeah.
All right. You look a little bit, what did they call it? Flustered?
I don't feel particularly flustered.
Well, keep an eye out. We don't want you catching a fever now, do we?
I don't feel a fever coming. At least, no. But thanks for checking. Thanks for worrying.
You're welcome. Stay on your feet.
And eventually, Ginny returns. And the four have reunited.
I'm gonna quickly give the fox back to the.
I think the mother would have quickly ran up. Ginny, make a quick animal handling check.
20. That's cool.
You notice that the foxes are like yapping a little bit to each other. Like almost like as if they're trying, like talking, like almost like talking.
I return back to the group. Yeah. So, did I miss anything?
No, just
Oh,
the
really?
skinning of the hairs.
Yeah, fresh roasted bunny in the morning. Huh. Sorry. Was my wolf showing?
It's fine. I have some berries and I cracked it.
That was a joke.
It's not the wolf showing, it's more of like the eating of the.
You're very tense.
Should have went fishing instead.
Oh, by the way, Ginny.
I like stop.
Alaric of name. Henry comes up like with his little pouch. Here,
Nice.
I scribed this scroll for you. I couldn't sleep. And he gives you a scroll with speak with animals.
I do speak with animals.
And you do. You do.
Yeah.
This allows you or someone
do it,
else
to
to do it instantly without using a spell slot.
Thank you so much, Henry.
I couldn't sleep.
Why not? Is something bothering you?
In the background. That.
Were they that loud? I didn't hear them that.
His Henry's tent was literally next to where you stored the foxes in the carriage.
Yeah, I think it's the animal noises that really help me sleep. So I didn't really hear it that much.
Okay.
Should I have had them on the other side? Maybe that's what that means.
It's fine.
For all their sakes, I think.
It's fine. It gave me a time to work a little bit on my scribing again. But he didn't sleep that well. That's easy to pick up.
Yeah, why don't you keep yourself calm now? Don't overextend yourself.
And
No.
besides, we're not there yet, so you can always take a little rest.
Yeah, let's see. And he kind of like. Okay, let's see. I think we're around here. Can everybody make a quick perception check while he points out the map?
Dat was een plan om te doen, ja.
Perceive very little as usual.
Dat is mijn perception. 18 plus 4 is 22.
7.
Okay, so you all look at the map, and Henry is like, okay, so he points at like the map, and in this case, okay, so we're almost like at the valley of Fallowbrae. I think if we like travel like 2 hours or maybe perhaps, then we can actually see the valley, and from there we can set up camp. You can take care of the owlbears, and then we set up the perimeter, and we're done. And then you guys can take the second horse and pack up, and I'll be doing my research. Although I wouldn't mind if you perhaps like check up on me in a few days, but
And it's also... we can
We'll send a scout party later.
see if you're not dead.
no, as long as my perimeter is set up, there's nothing that can really pass through once it's at full strength. So that'll be fine.
But when you want to leave, it's nice that it's cleared around, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely a thing. So I wouldn't mind if you could like check up in a few days. I did talk with Mr. Kane, your exemplar. So yeah. Okay. Is everybody ready to go then? As we quickly wrap up camp.
Yes.
Did Alaric see anything unusual about it? Did Alaric see anything unusual about the map?
There was not particularly anything unusual about the map. It was just like a standard map that you could like get anywhere of this region. Perhaps like a few notes that Henry made on the sides and probably in the forest up nearby. Stormborn, Stormrune, and he probably marked that engraving with like a big question mark. He had like some personal notes all around it.
Nothing that would have stand out to Alaric.
No, not particularly, unless
Okay.
you're like actively like looking at something. Like perhaps there's like a point, like he probably like made like a picture of where the cave-in happened and like marked an X. Maybe he spotted like hyenakin somewhere in the region.
Nee, in dat geval niet.
You did hear that strange noise once again.
Did you guys hear that?
Mm-mm. Hmm?
You're making an unusual noise.
Hmm?
What noise is he making?
Yeah, like as if you would grab a handful of bees and put them in a tiny box and then let them do their bee thing.
I don't have any bees.
What? That sounds like a weird explanation of how something makes sound.
Yeah, it's like vibrating or something.
So it's buzzing?
Yes.
I didn't hear any buzzing.
Maybe Junior is playing a trick on you with rubies.
No.
No, it doesn't sound like her bees. I'm by now used to that annoying sound. I mean,
I
it's
never heard that.
something. Yeah, never mind then.
You're strange.
Yes, I'm very
Gotta
strict.
get my stuff in the carriage.
Let's pack up and go.
As Henry starts to like pick up his stuff and like put it in the carriage, and like everybody gets ready. Somebody probably pets the horses, gives them a carrot or a piece of hair meat. I don't know if horses
No,
like that.
probably a berry or a carrot.
A few berries.
Leaves.
I think that those would come from the supplies that Henry would have brought, because one of the horses remains behind, of course. Because just like in the example that we had previously, I've put it up here physically. Like you have the front carriage and you have the back carriage, which is like mostly of Henry's supplies. And the point is that the two horses you have, one of them is for each.
Yeah.
So, eventually, after like 30 minutes, everything has been packed up. Ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Alrighty. You kind of like quickly make your way back to the path that is mostly covered with like wood. And I actually,
A nice bumpy road.
it's a little bit more of a bumpy road indeed. Arvin, please move yourself onto the carriage. Henry's probably in the back. Where are the foxes?
They're with me.
Front, back.
Uh,
Hopefully the nicely with Henry, you know.
Those are the horses.
yeah, I was doing
I don't think the horses are in the carriage.
Is it going well, sir?
Henry had an accident, okay?
What? Yeah. I think Henry is indeed just going back, like doing some of the studying that he has, and like probably one of those foxes, like, and Henry's like, huh? And it kind of like scurries back to, in this case, around you. And remind me again why you brought all these foxes.
Well, they need a new home because their home was a little bit destroyed because of the lightning bolt. And I have a. Oh, they don't have it right now. But like, I have a little camp next to the big camp at our base because I don't really like sleeping there. It's kind of like. So I have a little place in the woods where you found me the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be perfect for them to sleep there.
I suppose that makes sense.
I'm all about making sense.
But Ginny, you do know that we're going to, well, Fallowbrae and the ruins where those owl bears are,
Yeah, but
and they're very cute foxes.
I can just tell them to stay here for the moment while we deal with them, and then they can come.
I suppose, as he this like from his bag and he takes out one of those big crystals. I suppose I could put up a crystal so we at least know they're safe.
Well, we still have the issue of the horses.
Yeah, that's also a thing. So about the ruins, actually, basically there are two big areas. We have like the big destroyed town area and all the ruins, and we have the castle. The last time that I know, the owl bears were at the castle, if I remember correctly. So the ruins of the town itself mostly were empty.
And you need to go to the castle.
Yeah, I wanna investigate both. I don't know, there's probably like some old history to find there or something interesting. But hey, I wanna visit the castle to do my investigation, and hey, the town is on the way, and well, I do wanna set up the perimeter around the castle, but if the ruins of the town would be more safer, then I think that would be more suitable.
Well, let's first get to the ruins then we'll find a spot to store the horses and the foxes. And then from there we move to the castle.
Mm-hmm. They make a lot of noise though. Like they're like kind of like trying to like worm around in the caravan. And of course, sometimes a little fox is like, yep. And then like Alaric perhaps. Or even Arvid.
Like, imagine the point is just one.
What? They're just playing. They're so small. You need to let them do things.
I'm still so
Yeah,
confused.
if they fall out of the carriage, I think you wouldn't want that.
No, but they'll stay with mom.
So, hold on, little one.
Should have brought the bow from yesterday. To have camp for food.
What kind of bird is that?
Sounds like a crow. Make a quick wait, what did I ask earlier?
Nature?
Make a quick nature check. you do notice a pattern in the crow's noises. Like there's like a perfect interval almost.
Does Alaric know anything about this? As in, would this seem unusual behavior to him?
Yeah, it does seem a little strange.
Ginny, do you hear this too?
What?
The crows
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
doesn't strike you as odd.
No, they're crying.
Calling.
From the forest.
They're crying.
It sounds to me like there's a pattern. Like it's not what normal cawing sounds like.
I could try to ritual cast my speak with animals. Maybe I could hear what they're crying about.
Or you could use the scroll or ask Henry because apparently he scribed the scroll.
I think I'm gonna ritual cast it. So it's if they're still there in 10 minutes.
Well, you're driving your caravan, so of your cart, so
If they're still there.
okay, go ahead. Takes a few minutes, of course. What's happening on the carriage in the meantime?
Probably looking out for just in case I see something big because of that paw imprint in the forest.
You haven't mentioned that to anyone, have you?
No.
Okay.
In similar vein, Alaric would be keeping an eye out just to see if he sees anything unusual.
Can those two then make a quick perception check for me?
Only a quick one then. Team.
It's everything's rolling downhill from here. It's 8.
You do notice that like it starts to like drizzle a little bit, but not that much. What did you have? Sorry? 10. Eventually, you do notice that like the path like goes down into like more like of an actual valley, and like in the distance you do spot like the ruins of like a town and a castle. Like Henry is still like, do you point it out?
Henry, look over there.
Oh, then we're almost there. Oh. You can make the approximation that from the valley and from the distance, because it's downwards and you're coming from like up, it will probably be like around a 20-minute drive. You're still like going on like a relatively slower pace because the terrain here is much more rocky. What?
Nothing, my feet was stuck in his feet.
Oh, how adorable. Moving on.
Nee, wat ben je groot nodig?
Your spell completes. Your spell does indeed complete, and then you're like, you're looking up and you hear those crows again. Fate!
Fate?
Fate! That's what the crow said.
I'm repeating that back to you guys. So, do you guys know what that means?
That doesn't really sound like a very comforting noise to make.
I'm also not religious, so
What did it say?
Fate?
Fate. No, fate.
Fate. And
Fate. Okay. I haven't heard a crow say the word fate before.
Can I like, is the caravan open in the back?
Yeah, the caravan is open in the back. Or it has like a top.
Can I like halfly climb up, not fully on top of it, but on the side, to like yell back at the birds? Like, hey, what do you guys mean with that?
Okay, sure you can. Let's make you do a little animal handling check to see how those birds would respond. If they
15.
even 15.
before we found. Before we found. No,
The bonus.
Yeah.
Sealed fate! sealed fate. 2 crows.
Is this about anything? Or is it about the road? Or about animals? Food?
King! King! King!
So they're talking about a king, and about sealed, and about faith. That's it.
A king with a sealed fate. That doesn't bode well.
So which king?
They don't seem to like make any other noises beyond those 3 once more. Of course, how long does your spell last?
10 minutes.
Okay, then they still keep repeating that over again.
I'm going back.
Well, like I said before, it's a little strange that the birds are talking about it. But, well, Fallowbrae did have, like, was a kingdom once. And the king kinda, yeah, you know.
This really starts to sound like one of those spooky stories my grandmother told me when I was small. And I do not like it.
What's a Theoren grandmother like? Asks Henry, like, curiously.
She was very nice. She made lovely pear pies.
Oh.
Because she didn't like apples.
Oh. Okay. I wasn't expecting another answer. Sorry.
She was actually one where I would one say that a kind of a big honcho at the town, and she was with all the spirituality and things.
Oh, okay.
She was a really nice woman.
Okay.
Lies do sound a lot better than those stories.
Well, she had an act to tell, especially the younger whelps, some spooky stories to keep them in line, of course.
Isn't that always?
Yeah.
Trying to make sure they don't do anything stupid.
Something about not going into the forest at night.
Yeah.
In the winter.
We already did one of those things.
Oh, he would get eaten by the giant cat killer.
Just to confirm, Ginny, you made your way back inside, right?
Yeah. I guess we could the foxes, because it's...
Hello, hi.
I'm gonna start yapping with them probably.
Hi, big ball, like yay, yeah, yip. Oh, hungry, Jenny, blueberries. They're all like, oh, yep.
So, little ones, do you guys want me to tell you a story?
Oh,
Okay, sit down. I'm just gonna start telling about my mother, about how she used to live, and what she all did for grand adventures, and sometimes a little bit scary things in there. To,
like that big ball.
and then just to wrap it up, something nice to end the story, but like, just some small conversations.
Cute. While Ginny is telling a story, can everybody else, except Ginny, make a perception check with disadvantage because Ginny is causing noise?
You are yapping a lot. See?
Every character from yappers.
Why not can yap as well?
So just getting raided by a hyena in the moment because we couldn't hear anything.
Nothing about my mother over here.
Yes, very tragic.
We're following her to the grave.
Suddenly, Who's in the back cart right now?
Definitely Henry, but
And Henry
but
makes
who else?
Henry makes a quick attack save.
Oh shit! Well, at least we'll get paid.
Oh, natural one.
Oh,
He's fucking gone.
he's dead.
Well,
What happens?
the back cart disconnects as from this noise, like suddenly the big tarp that was like connecting up, and just like the carriage like breaks off and like, and he just like the cart like falls face forward, like like the horses get a little spooked.
Keeps in the reins. The front carriage stops. Take a look back. What do I see besides a rather clumsy?
Well, one of the wheels from the back cart has definitely now taken damage, and like one of the spikes is like broken. It can't move further right now if you don't fix it up. And Henry and all the stuff inside of his back caravan has completely like been shaken up as it like literally fell face forward. And make another quick perception check around your surroundings.
Dat is 10. 3 keer 10 in een rij. Dat is 30, toch?
No, it's not.
30.
Ow! Oh!
Are you alright, Henry?
Oh! Yeah, just felt. What happened?
From what I can tell, one of the wheels is broken.
And Jenny also make a quick perception check.
Yeah, it's a 1.
We perceive nothing
Alaric
in this
steps out of the carriage.
Yeah.
And we see nothing.
No. You quickly look up at like the big side wheel. Well,
But you
one of like, okay, imagine this. You have the big wheel, right?
Yeah, one of the spokes is broken.
Yeah, one of the spokes, like one of the spikes is broken now, and that had the effect that like there was like a break here as well.
Well, that sucks. Did anyone bring a spare?
Maybe. I don't know how to install it though.
Well, it's not that hard actually. Give me the spare,
Okay.
and we'll try to fix this.
Hold on. Hold on, this thing is big. As Henry like kind of like moves up. Who's still in the caravan?
Stop.
Yeah?
Whilst he's doing this, can Alaric investigate the wheel, whether it broke naturally or not?
Okay, sure. Make an investigation check.
Yes. Investigation. Oh nee, wacht, dat is Ireland. 13.
With 13. Looking at this wheel, there's like a perfect hole right at the breakage. Yeah, that kind of reminds you of like an arrow. While Henry is like rummaging through the back, can you make a perception check for me?
How much do I perceive this time? 9.
9. Ugh. You don't like. You're kind of like looking out, of course, because you see him spotting, and you do notice that in the whole wreckage of the caravan that fell over, you find a very kind of like peculiar little thingy. It's made out of metal, and it has like, I'll show you. I'm going to draw it because it's going to be like a little bit vague. It's kind of like a metal thingy, and it has like metal like sticking upwards, and like cogwheels on the side, and like it's kind of like a green, kind of like square thing, and like there are like things moving on it.
So, what is this thing?
Do you point it out?
Probably.
Probably. So yes or no?
Yes.
it vibrates.
Larry, didn't you hear some buzzing sounds?
Where is this stupid wheelwright? Like, what you notice is that Henry is like almost like halfway inside of this little bag. Like, this is a bag of holding.
Alaric is emotionally very conflicted right now because he wants to stay home and not in this nasty situation. Alaric moves up to you and it's like, what do you have there?
This thing buzzed. Don't know what it is.
What does it look like?
Jenny, could you give me a hand?
Sure, I'll stay here.
These turns.
Um,
Ginny quickly
And you
runs
see
up to
devilish.
Henry, meaning that Henry is distracted.
Yeah, but what does Alaric see when he looks at this cogwheel machine thing?
Okay, so I'm going to give you like the comparison to like kind of like almost like a Pip-Boy, but it's like a mechanical thing with like cogwheels on the side and these things that you almost like could like click in or something with like a kind of like a green square, and there are like kind of like little symbols like moving on it.
Does Alaric recognize the symbols?
Absolutely no clue what it says.
No language.
No language. This is not something that you would know and would not match your runes.
Are the buttons labeled?
No, they're not. No, they're definitely not.
Just 3 random buttons.
Yeah, so there's like 3 buttons like below it, and like one of them is yellow, one of them is blue, and one of them is red.
Shall I push one of the buttons?
Probably not smart.
All right. I'll
Magic
push
things
the
are
most
usually
left
dangerous.
button.
You
red one.
okay. Okay. So okay. Yeah, the most left button?
That's
Okay.
the red one, right?
No, the
Spell
That's
copying ability. Spell copying ability. That's what it says.
in common.
In common.
Odd. Well, probably one of Henry's little thingamajiggies. Let's get it back to him before he gets his knickers twisted.
It does seem a little odd to Alaric. Alaric does get a little bit of a strange vibe. And he can make a quick history check.
Alright.
It doesn't say anything to him.
No, Alaric is the brightest tool in the shed. 13.
With a 13, although you have no idea what this thing is and what it's for, the only thing that kind of like reminds you from your Void Breaker training is that it may be some kind of like ancient human tool. And well, the only strange tools that the humans used was very long ago. And they're not really supposed to have them anymore.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Henry did insist he had proper authorization to mess around with Magitech, so...
Spell copying ability deactivated. As you notice that the button just comes up again. Ah, there it is! Ginny, hold on!
Before he pulls it out, Alaric just tosses it in with the rest of the things.
Okay, smart. One big wheel!
Good grief, man, how did it even fit in the bag?
Magic.
Right. Hand it over, quickly, because...
It's probably heavy.
Just quickly gather up everything and we'll have to move on.
Okay. Oh, all my stuff is a mess!
Quickly. Like, Alaric probably sweats, but he is fur, so you don't see it. But like, that would be giant sweat drop.
Well, that's still visible.
Sweats drop like... Alaric hasn't shared that there was clearly, I was going to say bullet hole, but arrow hole in the carriage, but he keeps that to himself. He quickly tries his best at repairing the wheel, or replacing the wheel.
I think you're capable enough because of your skills also with weapon craft and etc.
Well, it generally is not that difficult. Actually, it's like pin out, wheel on, pin in.
That sounds pretty difficult to me.
Oh, you poor unfortunate child.
What do you do with the extra wheel?
Do we need any firewood?
Probably at some point, right?
Well, you're staying the night, so I suppose that you could, like, get a campfire going.
Alaric puts it on its side and smashes it once with his hammer to break it apart. Collects a few of the pieces and then brushes everyone back inside the carriage.
The Legend of Zelda noise. Ding, 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 ding. You've got firewood.
Yes.
Henry
I
has a
think
lot of
probably in the
unfortunate-
meantime, Ginny and Arvin are probably helping set up the caravan back while the foxes are like,
I just imagine like two bigger foxes and like a whole gaggle of smaller ones just on the side like, don't know what they're doing, but it's very interesting.
mm-hmm.
And also just running, the company just running through the
Yeah, making
carriage, the
walks
whole
and
place.
shitting everywhere, peeing everywhere.
I'm going to fucking demote you.
I'm already at the lowest place.
Not yet. You can be hurt.
You could be excellent. Fate worse than death.
Worse.
And eventually, like, you connect the tarp up again after replacing the tarp, and the caravan is reconnected, and your trip would continue again.
Would.
Yeah, it is. It is continuing
it's
again.
not running side.
Yeah, you're being hit by a
Ow, ow, ow. Anyway.
just being
Pushed away. Yeah, like I'm some sort of NPC character that's just. Now
Now
that
make a quick insight check for me.
inside. Oh, that's actually pretty decent. 19.
With a 19, you, as the caravan is driving up and like all the stuff, you do notice that, like, because you saw this little strange, curious thingy with Henry and you fling it back into the stuff, and you notice kind of. And then he sat back down.
Problem for a later moment. Right now, Alaric is frantically looking around, trying to see if he sees anywhere that an arrow might have been shot from.
Well, you're back on the road again, so it does seem obvious that at the moment where this wheel was, that it must have come from the forest. And of course, you're now heading down into a valley, meaning that, it came probably from upwards.
Okay, so just for my view, because this is probably not very representative of it, we're heading into a valley. Is the valley completely flat, or is the valley with woods, or...
I'll give you I'm not the greatest drawer, but so
It's...
I
don't
couldn't
think
see it.
Alaric would be a great drawer either.
Ginny is very artistic, but lacks the skill.
How bloody rude.
I do hope you said artistic, right?
Yes,
Artistic.
that's me.
So, the idea in this example is that you're up from here and you're now heading into open plains. So you're surrounded by the valley, meaning that your path forward towards the town is mostly flat but downwards.
Yeah, open field.
Open fields. And there is a big river coming up further up ahead, and the castle ruins are beyond this river, not very far.
And in
from
front
the
of
actual
the
settlement.
is the ruined settlement, all right.
Yes.
And to my view, it would have come from up on the cliffs, slightly back. Yeah,
Downwards, yeah.
that makes sense. But at least we're out in the open. Nothing bad ever happens there. We'll see our enemies coming from miles away. It's not something Alaric would say out loud because you guys are probably already spooked shitless.
Not in good fortune.
You probably noticed that Alaric is a little on edge.
Yeah.
Normally he's a bit stoic, so... being a little anxious.
Are you looking for food or what are you looking at? Yeah, so like,
Nothing. Instant death.
Ah.
No, maybe there's just all these crowds, and it's very unsettling. There might be enemies nearby, so keep your eyes open. What's that noise? That's not a fox.
I didn't hear a noise.
Is he lying?
Okay. The thing is that you know now that that thing made noise. I think from like your passive perception and of your passive insight, you could notice like a sweat drop. You could confront him, but you don't have to.
I don't want to confront him, and then we get bum rushed by a bunch of hyena kin. Maybe Alark just gives a stare, like,
And he just like
There's probably, because there's like 1,000 foxes in this carriage, a fox nearby them. Alaric just looks at him. Keep an eye out on that one.
just shifts it right into
You were talking about enemies.
I don't know. I have a feeling we're being watched.
Well, anyway, if you're watching out, can you also look back for food? Because I don't think I have.
Well,
And you didn't think of stacking up on rations before we headed out.
Well, most of the wolves are wolves. Foxes are
Oh.
wolves. And you.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, you're a big eater as well.
I know.
I had a
Sure.
difference to the other whole as chicken. No, it's not chicken. Yeah.
should have shot the elk instead.
That was elk?
Yes,
Oh.
but
Mouse that was.
there was the issue was would one arrow kill it? And also, how am I gonna drag it back?
Are you
I didn't want to attract.
a void breaker or not?
Don't you have any meat on your bone? That you're a little stronger than that.
You can eat him then.
Me?
Yeah, you can eat him.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
wait.
think there's much meat on these bones. It doesn't work well with a rogue being.
I suppose that's true. You wouldn't need a book.
So mushrooms or like berries, sometimes even flowers.
So,
sometimes-
what exactly would you be doing in the meantime? Playing with foxes?
No. I am encouraging them and learning them proper ways of defending for themselves. And
and Ginny knows how.
no.
I imagine Jenny
See,
just.
this is a spoon!
This is how you job. No, I'll
I can imagine. Like one of the foxes like tips over like the fork.
I would probably learn them how to like hide if something
Right.
comes that
Let's let you do an animal handling check with advantage.
I promise you, besides looking for potential deathly threats, Alark will try to keep an eye out for a mushroom or two.
The thing is, though, I think everybody in this carriage is like realizing that these foxes are very unusually intelligent and aware. It's a little odd in how like
Yeah.
Everything is odd.
Yes, I mean, well, no. This is a very normal day where normal crows are talking about doomed kings and something like that. It's perfectly normal. Happens every Tuesday back home.
what's a Tuesday?
A drinking
Do
day.
you have particular names for your day?
No.
So then a Tuesday exists.
Syndicaat van de Brexit.
That every second day of the 10 day.
Today?
Every second.
A 2 day. No, that would be very confusing. It's 2 day today.
3 day, 4 day, 5 day.
That's not nice.
Not the day when
actually,
everybody-
Duo-day?
It doesn't sound that bad because then you have like as the weekend is on the 9th and the 10th day.
Duo-day?
Dat is
Uno
zo
day.
terrible voor us.
Duo day.
Oké, dat is huiswerk voor jou. Ik wil een dagsysteem hebben met fatsoenlijke alternatieve naam.
5e original doesn't have it either. It's not gonna happen.
But it does have the 10-day.
You have a 10-day?
Yeah.
No.
You made a
Oh,
whole world.
Yeah.
And you're relying on 5e.
Like, I've had a very interesting conversation outside of the game with him about the very fabric of the universe and what the essence of planets or suns are.
Okay.
And he figured that one out, but he hasn't thought about that.
Okay, fine. All right. Tuesday is now canon in this world. Whatever you want.
It's the other day in it.
Tuesday is now the second day of the week.
The other days don't have a name besides Tuesday.
Right now, canon, but like a little timeout. I'm still kind of waiting until Legend Keeper does its big timeline update, and then I can also add in all the sessions and events on what moment in the time they actually.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I can also like add in the timeline that this event happened 10 years ago and like someday. But sure, we'll now add a Tuesday into our calendar system.
Can we add to it that it's the drinking day or something?
But don't worry, we'll come up with the other days. It won't be Monday till. It will be worse.
Moon Day.
It will be Sealed Fate Day.
King's Day.
King's Day.
We'll think about it.
But that probably...
As you are making your way,
Yeah.
still making my way down the valley. Okay, I'm getting
Hopefully
distracted.
not getting shot.
No, no shots, no fires, nothing that seems to like stand out anymore. Although everybody in the caravan is slightly on edge, especially perhaps Alaric, because he probably heard that once more.
Every second that nothing shows up, Alaric just gets more worried. Because it's not supposed to be that someone just shoots an arrow at your wheel and then disappears. So we're riding through an open field and he's like frantically looking around trying to see a slight different grass.
However, as you are getting closer to the settlement as well, and maybe as you're getting closer to the settlement as well, can everybody just like make a perception check? No danger, more for the environment.
Shit,
Oh, 13. 13, 23.
that's
Okay.
19%.
So
26.
about this valley,
14.4.
about this valley, you do notice that how much did you have?
It's the 19 plus 4 is 23.
15. 24. No, 23.
I think these two would notice and they would immediately like point it out. I think also Henry would like eventually come up. Oh, we're almost there. Okay, great. I think these two would notice that around this settlement, there's like a lot of like spears and like old fencing and old like barriers and perhaps even like a very big cogwheel, like spread out, reclaimed by nature.
Remains of a battle.
Remains of old battles. Perhaps even like a big kind of like trebuchet thing. Perhaps even a cannon. Things that are like completely broken down, unusable, stuck in, covered, reclaimed by nature. But that's very easy to see here. And all of them were pointing towards this castle. And that castle in the distance is completely ruined. There's nothing really of note. You're coming up to the edges of the settlement. What do you do?
I'd probably ask if somebody should scout ahead, since a carriage probably makes a lot of noise with horses.
I think that Henry would indeed. Yeah, so I don't know where those owl bears are. but I do think it's smart if we perhaps like put it like at the edge of the settlement, and then I can pull up one of my pins, and at least then we'll know.
All right.
So about those owl bears,
Yes.
what is your tactic?
Eat them.
Good old man.
Those are two very conflicting tactics.
Don't mind my companions.
And Eric is also hungry, I assume. So I think we'll eat them after we defeat them.
From what I read, owlbear meat isn't very pleasant to the tongue.
Not really, no.
We'll approach them carefully. Hopefully we do not have to engage. Maybe they've, moved on. And if they haven't, then I suppose we'll just have to surprise them and try to eliminate them as quickly as possible.
I'm gonna stuff owlbears.
We're coming up at the edges of these ruins. Well, I think it's maybe smart to like put the carriage here. Does anybody else have any other suggestions? We could park it a little bit further away.
There's like a ruined building there, right?
Yes, they're all ruined buildings.
All right, but
If you get closer, I'll give you inscriptions and descriptions.
there's like
You see what you see.
some walls around.
Yes,
Could we put the carriages inside?
you definitely could.
Or
Perhaps.
they'll have cover.
Perhaps I think this is too big, but like you could like put it at least here in this corner.
All right. Zodat het een beetje beschut weggezet is.
Yeah, this is like probably one of the parts that is like most like beskuit.
Right, let's put it down here.
Turn on the grid really quickly so you can like position. Ooh, this is wrong.
40 kobolds incoming.
No. Well, we're here. Oh,
Are you okay?
well now the hard part begins. The owl bears.
Very.
Maybe you can scout ahead.
I was thinking about this. This goes up to be somewhere around here for a vantage point.
I'll zoom in. Okay. We know where the carriage is. Please remove the carriage from the map and I'll just zoom out. So, in summary, these are the ruins of this little town. There is like everywhere there's like holes in every wall, so you have a clear sight, even though there are some corners that are obstructed. On that side is where you find the river, and a little bit further up, the castle. And I can quickly show you that map as well. Basically, that's what you see right now. The insides of the castle are kind of like out of view right now.
Right. As Arvid is scouting ahead, you can handle that first. Alaric would be looking around for tracks or any other thing of particular. Maar geef hem maar eerst even.
Okay. You need to move yourself where you are going to look around.
I'm definitely going up, probably like a higher place, nice place I can to overview the area of debris as well.
Make with advantage because you're like looking out. Make a quick perception check.
Do I perceive? I perceive a 7.
A 7.
My perceivings are not the best today.
You don't spot any traps of traps.
Thanks.
Tracks. Thank you. However, you perhaps hear those crows once more in the same the same pattern again. And you do notice, like from like the sunlight, like flowing down because it's like midday right now. Something kind of like glimmering from like all the way over there. But because they have that glimmer, it kind of like blinds you a little bit. And there's like nothing else of tracks that you can see right now. You also don't only hear those crows. They're kind of like distracting you right now. You could go check out what's blinking, but
I'll probably still stealthily just.
do you just like follow this path along?
Yes.
Okay.
Just there. It was there, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably look from like the side first. A little from here.
Well, there. Here's a giant beam, so you will probably have to head in it that way. Make a quick perception check when you stop there.
Probably from here. Since it has.
Make a quick perception check.
We perceive 8.
With an 8. Well, you do see still something like blinking a little bit.
Guess I go closer again.
Stop. Deck save.
Jesus, roll higher.
Okay.
You can do better off.
So you take one step forward,
Can you even?
and then you hear, and then you hear just rumbling. But beyond that, nothing. That was weird. It was almost as if the rumbling came from below you. Are you stepping forward?
I'm probably proceeding through this way instead.
Okay.
Just around the beam.
Okay.
This was here, right?
It was there. Inside.
So probably peek from the side around the corner before I go forward.
Okay. Make a quick perception check.
That's right.
Surely I can perceive more than a 2 this time.
Yes, you can perceive a 1.
What? Well, okay. So, from the corner that you're standing, whatever is glimmering is still glimmering, but you can't see because the glimmer of the direct sunlight is blinding your face. Just move forward to it.
You guess.
And
so what is this object?
on the ground, you find kind of like made out of like it looks kind of like bronze-like. It was like scattered in all the ashes. What you now realize is this probably was kind of like an old kind of like church building or something. From the archways broken everywhere, and now that the glimmer is not in the eyes, you can finally fucking see something. But what's right in front of you that like had the glimmer is like kind of like a very fancy chalice, and it has like a very beautiful kind of like crystal on it. That was the reflection source that is causing that all that light, and it kind of like looks really kind of pretty, but like a big chalice.
You have sensitive tiger eyes.
Yes, they're probably like the cat's eyes are like they don't like light.
Obviously, I'll take it.
Okay. Kind of like it is kind of a little like decrepit. It is like it has like a little bit of moss on it. Decrepit. That's and it's like a big chalice.
Looks valuable. And then I'll.
No tracks, nothing that would indicate the presence of these owl bears.
Well, I'm definitely not going to move through here since I heard something similar to a cave.
There's a stairs there.
Yes, but
You can climb. You have no left.
No, these stairs are going down.
Upwards and then down.
Well, Yeah, I'll probably go through
As you
here.
walk over this, you find like the ruins of this. Make a quick perception check.
Hey, 17.
A 17, nice.
The curse is broken by one.
Do you see this thing over here?
Yes.
So it's kind of strange. It's like a little bit like of a big circle and all kinds of like other circles in it that you notice like in the architecture. It kind of like stands out to you and you don't exactly know why. You wouldn't have noticed something like that like with a human architecture. It's a little odd. But it just like stands out to you. But you're kind of probably more worried about seeing things and then hearing rumbling. What's happening in the meantime with these other two?
Alaric would probably, as he is doing his shenanigans over here, would just look around here outside to see if he sees any tracks or any other inclination of anyone having visited here before.
Make a quick perception check.
I was afraid you'd say that.
My favorite.
Where's that stake? That stake is older. Yes. 30.
Okay, with a 13. What you notice is that where you have placed your caravan is just outside of like something that resembles like an old church. And looking around this thing, you do notice, you hear the wind. You notice that Alaric is like, Arvin is like walking around. And you do spot like old glass mosaics still like kind of like inside of these windows, like smashed through. But looking at it, you do notice something like mosaic, like a mosaic glass. And like you do notice like engravings of like crowns everywhere. That just stands out. Stained glass. A little bit further up ahead, you do notice like what is characteristic, of course, is some kind of like of old barracks with like the spears and like the helmet. And you do notice that like there's like helmets on the ground. So probably over there's like kind of like old barracks, which you could check out. Or you could check on Arvin, as eventually all of you hear rumbling. What was that?
Alaric would just investigate that building.
Okay. Make another investigation check or perception check, whatever, for you times.
I perceive 17.
Besides a few rusted swords, the rusted spear covered, reclaimed by nature, what you do spot is what is kind of odd is that in the corner, it's kind of like wrapped up. It's kind of like some vandal. Some banner.
Some flag.
That's kind of like still wrapped up and almost like seems like in perfect tip-top shape.
Alaric would, whilst also taking a gander at the floor to see if he doesn't accidentally trip a trap, move to that corner and maybe like unfurl it and see what's on it.
It seems to be like still in pristine condition. And what is strange to you is that you see like a symbol that you would recognize as this.
Did our lovable little nerd mention how long ago that this town got ruined?
Over 250 years ago.
So for something made out of cloth in the open nature to be in perfect condition would be odd.
Yeah. It kind of like feels also odd, especially when you unfurl this thing and then you get to, let me quickly, hold on. Yeah. This is the vandal that you get out of it.
I see. Does Alaric have any idea what this symbology means?
Well, it's a crown and then 8 interconnected circles below it.
I think we don't have any idea.
I don't know,
Oh.
maybe Alaric has suddenly a spark of genius
No.
across time and space.
Legendary idea.
Let's see. Make a quick history check.
Now,
Difficult.
jongens.
If only you
Difficult.
went there afterwards.
Als dit hem niet is, wat zei je?
History.
Wacht, ik moet heel even kijken. Want... Oh nee, dat is een 11, dan is dit een 17. History, ben ik niet goed in, dus het is een 17.
It's still pretty high. I gotta check my notes really quickly. Because I wrote something down.
Alaric doesn't do writing.
And at the time, you rolled a 16. You've seen that symbol before. You've seen it before.
Oh.
Very recently. Oh, where have you seen it?
Well, Pippin knows where he saw it, but does Alaric know?
You get a quick history check. If it's above a 15, you do know.
Is dat even kut. Jammer. History is plus 0, 12 plus 0 is 12.
It's at the edge of the, like, you've seen it.
No, our little exemplar had a book with it on it.
Who?
Kane.
Oh. Oh.
But Alaric can't put his finger on it.
You've seen it before. Perhaps you kind of like make a mental note of it, or perhaps like, do you bring the banner?
Alaric is not a magical boy, so he wouldn't probably feel any. Alaric is ready. I would generally be like, it's like opening a tomb and you find like something in pristine condition. No, not something that eats me, but something in pristine, like a pristine piece. It's unnerving because it doesn't. Everything else is shit. Like it's rusted or it's broken or it's destroyed. This doesn't seem logical that this banner would be here.
No.
In this condition.
It feels special.
So Alaric, I would say, tries to find if it's magical, but he probably would try to feel it, smell it,
Make an
maybe
arcana
even
check.
lick it.
Make an arcana check. Make an arcana check.
I can see this in my head, so twisted.
It's a bit moldy. Yeah, definitely moldy. Arcana, 17.
Okay, with a 17.
Like love.
Okay, so the thing is,
Indeed, I see this big bulky wolf dude. Like,
the thing is, everything here around in this room smells. There is mold on it, but when you wrap open this particular banner, it's in pristine condition. Pristine condition. It has like vibrant colors. It doesn't smell. Like the fabric is still very soft. It was wrapped up in a corner and it was like covered with like one of those sheets. But this thing is in prime condition. It almost feels as if it has like the property to like cleanse itself, or that you could. Would you experiment with like putting something dirty on it? I think you would perhaps. Well, no. You said that you licked it, so we're going with that. And you notice that like your saliva that would get on it
ooh.
just fizzles out.
Maybe if Henry allows me to take it with me, I'll make a cape out of it. But folds it up respectfully and takes it along.
I think that Henry is probably like setting up like one of the first like
Pilot.
okay. And like it glows up. Yeah, it's active. All right. Okay. This one can stay here near the caravan, and if something gets near to it, I'll get a ping. What are we gonna do about the foxes?
They're gonna say, hi there.
Are they? How are you gonna tell them?
Well, I think in the meantime I'm casting Speak with Animal ritually to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
allow when it's finished to instruct the foxes to stay in this position.
Roll some persuasion check. Met advantage
Dat
because
is
it's
natuurlijk.
6.
with advantage.
I rolled a 2 and a 6, but I
Suck.
0 on persuasion.
I rolled.
You notice that like
on this.
the mama fox is like, and like all those other foxes are like. At least the mama fox listened.
Yeah, and I'll put some of the berries in this place so they know. Do they
Okay.
eat berries? Foxes?
Yes.
I'll put some.
Remember your Minecraft.
Alrighty.
Maybe bushes.
Yeah, they eat berries.
I think you would probably also return to the group.
Yes.
There's still more to investigate if you want to, but there we go. Yeah, that's too big.
Tuurlijk, ik wil het ook.
What did you have there?
Oh, I found this. Like, unfolds it.
Wow, that's still in pristine condition.
Yeah, I think
Did
I
you
might make a
get-
cape out of it.
You're now hold on. This may be like important, and it's historic. That belongs in a museum. But why is it still in pristine condition?
I don't know.
Because everything else looks moldy and bad.
I even licked it and it...
You what?
Ew.
What? I had to check. It smelled of daisies, but like my spittle just disappeared.
You couldn't have just put dirt on it or something, you just had to lick it.
That would be more disrespectful.
It's not me.
I appreciate you found it though. I haven't investigated, like, I didn't really get the chance because I wanted to go to the castle. But, okay, so it's a giant bat. I see you holding it, but this is an artifact of human history.
It feels important.
Well, if that thing is still here in pristine condition, maybe your other friend has found something as well. As
But
then
I'm just-
around the corner.
Why don't we just put it in the carriage for now?
Mm-hmm. Anything of note? Did you also hear those rumblings?
Yeah, it happened twice, right? Once when I...
No,
wow.
that was once and we heard it as well.
Yeah.
That was
Well, I tried to step somewhere and then rumbling happened. So,
I thought you were
From
also
underneath me,
now,
so-
really.
Underneath you.
yes.
Well, maybe I should have mentioned this
Didn't
earlier.
fall to the floor.
Maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, but I assumed all of them would have been broken. But I did mention before that the king that lived here once kind of like went. So in one of the old passages, it said that like also like there were like traps everywhere. But well, the last time that I was here, I didn't sense anything.
That's very unusual.
Well, the king went mad, so.
Well, the people didn't. I mean, this is... I think it's like a temple or something. Why would you trap a temple? People come to temples every day.
Well, yes, but if you think about it, 250 years ago, he almost would have said your ancestors, but then he quickly retracted. You know those when Therans were still wild. I can imagine that they had set up traps, like more like kind of protect themselves.
I see. Ah.
But nothing happened to me while I stood on it.
You still seem to be in one piece.
There
So
was
that-
rumbling.
Yes.
So
Does
where
it
was the
mention
rumbling?
something about, I don't know, caves or something already? Like a cellar? Don't churches have booze in them usually as well?
Not really. Wasn't really.
Is he telling the truth?
Does it?
Inside.
Does it? Since when? I need to go to church.
That's fun.
Your passive insight still kind of like lets you notice that he kind of like his eyes widened at a particular page that he skipped. But beyond that, what he said, you have no reason to doubt him so far. However, the whole situation with the thing does put you on edge.
Yeah, I know you just said you have no reason to doubt him so far, but Alaric really
Yeah,
doesn't
so
trust
far
this.
as in what he said at the moment.
You just
I get what
trust
you
him
mean.
in general.
Alaric is like, I don't trust this nerdy fuck. Like he's this close to just grabbing him by the throat, putting him against the wall and telling, now you're going to come clean what you're really doing here.
Yeah, he's almost having his hammer in his hand, just...
Like 2 more failed checks and he's going to do it.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't like Terrence and Cosmo. So if you do it, you kind of fit the stereotype of her. You know.
Yeah,
Craig
he
doesn't fucking carry the wolf and a void breaker.
Yeah.
I probably bring up that I found a chalice with a gem on it.
Ooh. Can I take a look?
Sure.
Oh, that's a very nice gemstone.
Looked very valuable.
It's kind of interesting when you think about it. This gemstone, like the whole chalice is like covered in like mold and dirt, except for whatever this little crystal or something is.
Do you think it's magical gold?
Magical?
Magical?
Well, that banner is also kind of special. It was also kind of like entirely not covered by dirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest you licking this though.
No, to mommy.
I don't like him.
Wouldn't drink
You
out of
like
it.
carpet?
So,
I mean, like, someone once told me that you shouldn't just lick random rocks. They could be poisonous.
Good point.
That's glove.
It's a flag! Who would poison a flag, honestly?
But nobody
Who
found
wouldn't lick
any.
the flag?
None of you found
Really?
anything of the owl bears?
No, I found no tracks at all.
no.
Okay.
Maybe
It's actually really strange. You would expect them to forage a little bit further.
Yeah.
maybe they're just in the castle. Sleeping.
Well, I suppose that's our next goal.
Well, there's still more to explore, of course. Well,
Wouldn't that
There's
also,
still more to explore.
wouldn't
Well,
that also pose
You've
a
only
question
been in 2
of-
places. You can see the entire map.
Well,
you've been there and there. There is more to explore.
Why couldn't this just be a small town?
smallest town ever. A barracks and a temple.
Anyways,
Everybody else left in the gas.
I just finished setting up the first gem, and so now it's ready to be placed. I still have 3 more because it's a parameter of 4. So
Why don't you continue doing that whilst we look around the town more?
Wait, why are you placing them here?
I'm not placing them here. I need to charge them up, and that requires a little bit of my concentration.
I was thinking you were going to place them here, but wouldn't it be better if you were placing them at
No, I placed 1 here to keep your foxes safe, and then later I can pick it up and add it back with the other 3. But I need to charge the other 3 as well, because they all need to be synchronized at the same time. Otherwise, the spell deactivates and it doesn't work. So just leave it to me.
Leave the smart boy to do his smart things.
I'm just asking questions and I'm not licking anything.
Which is appreciated.
It revealed something really ingenious.
You wanted to make a cape out of a natural artifact that belongs into a museum.
But look what it did to my spittle. If you wear it and you're in a rainstorm, you'll be dry.
Can't you, like,
That
get...
does sound very nice as a cloak.
Yeah,
That's it.
Especially for you guys.
Yes.
because If you guys get wet, it's
But-
like very stinky.
Okay, that's very
We're,
funny.
we're going to explore. I see we're not alone here.
It is true. Have you guys smelled yourself when you're wet of rain?
And this is why we prepare prestidigitation.
I don't have that. Never have.
Well, anyway, why don't you do your thing? We'll just check the perimeter and see if we find any more owl bear things.
Yay, smart.
You want me to explore as well, or do you want me to stay with you?
Is he actually sounding like that? Because that sounds really patronizing.
No.
Alaric, because he feels threatened in his intelligence all this time.
No, no, I don't think. No, he wouldn't. I think. In the meantime, he's already like concentrating on the spell and like
Alright.
speaking words. In the I think, Ginny, why don't you help these two out so they don't lick things, or
I don't lick things.
put pressure on things.
Activate the trap.
I merely stepped somewhere.
Men are hopeless.
Yeah. So,
Aren't you also a man?
yeah. So, you can take care of these babies.
Well, I need to concentrate on my spell, but you said that they would listen, right? And
Yeah.
like you see, Mom.
She's in charge.
There's one going over there. Like Alaric just hop.
Guys, stay here. I'll be fine. I'll be back in a minute.
Do you want to look at the church?
You did, didn't you?
Yes. I found something at the door that looked weird.
Why don't we take another gander at that round thing you found?
You found a strange banner and some kind of chalice with a crystal.
And this peculiar round disc that stood out for a reason, but
Do those two head up?
We'll take a look at it as well, but I don't think Alaric would recognize it.
Well, I think Alaric would recognize it because it completely matches the pattern on the banner. But this is kind of like what you would like put above a church, like with where the glass would be
window.
in.
At the temple, yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, it's the same symbols that are on the banner thing.
there are
Like
symbols
it's,
on the
yeah.
banner.
I
I missed that
unfolded
part.
for, what's his name again?
And
Eddie?
Henry.
Henry.
Oh,
Funny, but not that funny.
No, I know. Anyway, I've unfolded and all, and it showed that symbol. It's really strange.
so it must
I
be.
think
part
I've
of
seen
this
it
place.
before. Sorry, I'm shouting.
It
What
must be part of this place then. If you
It seems like some sort of religion. Yeah. Well, let's move on to the other buildings.
Then you need to move yourself.
Are we going as a group? Or,
Bye, guys.
Well, is only Alaric going in the
No, I'm following.
I'm probably heading more this way
Okay. And Jenny goes.
because I haven't been there.
Alright, you first. Make a quick perception check for me. Or investigation, whatever you're better at.
Something that I don't have to cry about. 13. That's bad. That's better than before.
Okay, so with a 13, at the edges of here, which is more like a little bit off the map, there's like an old house that is like completely like burned down. So like over here, which was like probably burned down. On this side, with 13, you find an old hearth. You know what it is?
Yeah.
An open hearth. See an old big hearth, which, considering the rest of the building, is the only thing that's kind of still intact. Like, almost perfectly intact.
Probably made out of stone.
Weird how something like this is still fine.
Do you take a good gander at it?
Is there like soot on it or anything?
Well,
Like-
that's already
like scorching.
Oh, no, that's probably already long gone with the wind. But what
With
you
black
do,
stains, I mean, like.
no, because what you do notice is that when you're now closer by, this thing, just like with Alaric mentioned before with the banner and the same with the crystal, there is nothing on the insides of this hearth, which is really confusing. Like the edges are like covered in moss, but the hearth itself, nothing.
Then I'm probably like with my shoe just putting like mud or something over the edges of it.
And you kind of notice that like the mud kind of like is almost like as if it's pushing itself kind of like off this hearth.
No. I'll probably look around further because there's not much else I would probably do with it. I'll just keep it in mind when I return.
Okay, but you don't like look inside of it, under it, or touch it.
Well, I assume that there would be nothing in it since it's pristine. Otherwise, and the mud just kind of got pushed out of it anyway. So
But you've noticed the hearth.
yes,
Let's go to these two. You find yourself at like the edges of like an old tavern. There's probably like just outside like an old table that is like the wood is probably so rotten that probably only like the metal spikes that were on the table still remain. And well, there's probably like some old metal cups. When you probably like look inside, nothing of this wooden door remains, but like you take a peek, it has the insides of an old tavern.
Alaric would take a walk around similarly to the barracks. Bit careful where he steps and sees if he finds anything of interest.
Looking inside, make an investigation or perception, whatever you're better at, and I assume Ginny follows.
Yeah.
Then you get advantage.
13 of 8, 13 plus 4 is 17.
With 17, once again, something strange is that, like, although everything is covered in moss, on the wall there's like a piece of tarp over something.
What do you think that is?
A top.
Yes, Ginny, that's probably a tarp. Why don't you put it off?
Sure. Okay, fine. I'll just try to open the door and walk
Okay.
in.
You walk in, and when you look at the wall, then you're now already inside. So over there, you find like the remains of like the old bar at the edges, and then you see something hanging on the wall with like a tarp over it. You just
Took it off.
chug it off. Okay, well, you chug off the tarp. At the moment that you chug off the tarp, like the tarp like almost like falls apart. But underneath, in pristine condition, is kind of like almost like a head of a statue. So it's mounted on the wall, but it's more like
It's like a bust.
it's a bust, but it's like forward.
Yeah.
like a deer head.
Yes,
mounted.
kind of. But it's not like a deer or just a head. It's more like the bust of like some kind of woman. And it has like kind of like a crown with like long hair flowing, but it just kind of feels odd. It also has like a huge necklace with a huge green emerald that is perfectly intact.
Is everything besides the necklace made of stone or whatever?
Everything beyond that is made out of stone. The stone does not get dirty at all. It's a very vibrant, kind of like silvery.
That's a pretty statue.
And a pretty necklace.
I'm not going to touch it.
Or like it.
But it's a very big emerald.
Does Alaric recognize this individual this is made of?
Make either investigation or perception.
Let's see if there's any like traps by it because it's
12. Magically or physically?
I would probably go more the physical route.
Okay, then an investigation or perception check. With 12. Okay, what you can see is this is definitely human features, but there's almost like on the skin of this particular statue, like almost like little star markings, like little dots everywhere. It feels special, but you have no idea who this would be. However, considering the crown part, it does seem more like perhaps this is kind of like a bust of a queen. With a huge necklace, with a huge emerald. The emerald kind of like glimmers in the direct light that falls on it.
You said investigation or?
Perception.
Okay, then it's a 23.
23, okay. Well, no traps, but what you do notice is that this necklace that is around this bust, this gemstone, you do notice like an edge around it. So you could either like probably press it in or pull it out. And that does stand out immediately to you. But physically around you, no.
I'm gonna push it.
Oh.
I don't like when you say oh. Because then something bad happens.
You made your choice.
Yeah, lie in it. But I didn't.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Ginny, what are you doing?
Wait,
And then you just notice that like the gem just falls off, but the statue's mouth.
That's what I did.
Is there something in the mouth?
Well, you don't see anything in the mouth. That means that you'll have to put your hand in it.
What do you mean then? I can just come closer, right?
Well, you have to look inside, and inside it's for some reason dark. Even with dark vision.
Is there something made out of wood nearby?
Yes, probably.
Right. I grab like a small piece of wood and...
Okay. You hear scraping of like paper, like... But like...
I think my hand is too big.
Fine. I'll just go in while looking like that. That on.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little taxing.
I'm gonna get a promotion after this.
After that demotion.
Oh shit. That's a natural one.
Okay. At the moment that you put in your hands, immediately it like bites into your hand. But like you screech from it, and like what is your first instinct that you would do?
Scream.
Okay. As you scream, you're physically stuck and this thing is like on your hand. However, you hear something. From whispers of fate, a crown was won, shadows of power all undone. A name that holds both rise and regret, speak it now, lest I'll forget. 7 letters mark this faithful soul, the word of a king to claim the whole.
What was this more?
And then at the moment, oh! Well, you took 5 piercing damage from it.
Not me thingies.
So you heard that as well, right?
No, you heard that.
Oh shit.
Only you heard that.
I relate that message because I can't.
Well, hold on. I said it once. Do you still remember it?
7 letters. I listen to you, by the way, but it goes somewhere in a dark place in life. So I need to speak a name of 7 letters, and it's of a king.
Did Henry tell us anything about the name of the king that rule here?
The Chambert family.
6. Unless it's bigger than Chambert.
The Chambert with theater.
You read Chambert?
Well, you'll have to ask Henry.
You can try.
So I have to reach my hand back in again
Yeah.
while saying Chambert.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it?
I have sensitive skin.
No, that is funny. I have sensitive fur.
He isn't wrong. You are sensitive.
Well, fine.
Like, you don't notice that at the moment that your big claw hand opens up, like, at the second, it, like, shuts close. None of you beasts! In a male voice in your head.
Ow. It doesn't want me. I can't help it. Can't help it.
Shut
Appearances.
Shut up. I'm gonna. Is there anything on my list?
Regrets.
That's also 6. 3 seconds, I'm reading.
I prefer my heart for this. How would you make a fire in the heart?
Food.
God damn it, I'm
No,
gonna
how?
reach my hand in and say Chambert.
Reach your hand in as it, like, opens up when your hand comes in it. But Chambert? Nothing happens.
I'm gonna.
No response at all.
Well,
I think we should head back to Henry.
Where is Arvin in the meantime?
I'm probably scouting that area still.
Okay.
Unless I could have heard the screaming, but
Make a quick perception check for me.
sorry.
How bad are you rolling today? Jesus.
That one.
They are my dice, so.
Your fault.
What did you roll?
That one.
Okay.
I received nothing of a screaming.
No, I don't think anything else would notice, but I think you would hear Ginny's shout, but nothing else.
Okay, just a
Something
shout.
else.
Yeah, you heard the shout of Ginny, but nothing else.
Pretty deafening.
I'll probably investigate it since
Okay, so
it's pretty far away, so hearing it would
like
be
it's echoing.
Yeah.
Echoing. I think even like, huh? Jenny or like Henry would probably also hear this, and yeah, he's still doing his spell, but you catch up to them, and well, you also spot like this, this statue with like now an emerald on the ground.
I probably see the emerald because of the glint string.
Immediately picks it up.
Ooh,
That is
shiny!
that is probably my
Your instinct.
instinct as a with my background like variable. So what is happening here? I heard Ginny shout for something, and I see a nice emerald on the ground.
Well, this statue almost ate me alive, so I was pretty bad.
They ate you alive.
Well,
Yeah, close.
I put my hand in it, and there, I think there's something like paper in here, but it said something to me. But it hurt. It said something about that I had to speak a name of 7. 7 letters.
7 letters, yeah.
Or 7 letters, which resembles a cane. And there were some other words. And some more. And it rhymed a lot.
Would I just
What if the little fox is?
Yep.
just bitten by the
No, back to where you came from.
yeet?
No, just like poof.
Oh,
Just kind of like observes you.
just grabs the fox.
You really need to make up your mind. Either throw them or put them in your...
Excuse me, you're not throwing foxes.
You scooted them away.
Could the fox get the paper? You said about throwing it.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't want any animals near it. Because Mr.
Doesn't,
Big Wolf over here...
Does it like what kind? You know, humans.
Usual.
Not you though.
So maybe Henry knows something.
Yeah,
But,
let's. Do we want to check out another building?
Maybe we should check on.
Do we take the emerald with us?
Well, you've already picked it up.
Did I?
Yes.
I think you would.
I would.
Just,
Would I? I would.
just take,
Definitely would.
just take it with you, Arvin.
I also found I was gonna say a building, but it's just the hearth that's left. And it just stays clean. Even though when you put mud on it, it just
Also something magical.
throws it off.
Yeah, something.
It sounds very
Ominous.
not logical. You burn a fire in there. So
Maybe you'd burn a special fire. Or it could be a secret entrance.
could be.
Maybe like the blue fire, just like Henry.
Could ask around.
But let's get to these owlbears because I have no idea.
Is there still some other buildings to investigate?
Yeah. If you return back to that pathway, it kind of like looks that other building over there kind of like looks like an old, like almost like an old blacksmith or something that you could like peek into. And of course, from this perspective, you see the castle that also like has a few like kind of like layers.
Yeah, let's first check out the blacksmith.
Lark has fallen for the blacksmith.
All right. Stepping into the blacksmith. Make a quick investigation or perception check.
17.
Only you?
Oh, sorry. I thought you.
Jullie mogen meedoen.
Danny.
Oh, wow.
When I don't need it, I throw a 19.
Okay.
I perceive.
So, you step into this old blacksmith, and once again, it's covered everywhere in weapons reclaimed by nature. Like the counter.
A question. Probably something Alaric would be wondering by now. Has there been any sign of any sort of remains, either human or otherwise?
Well, it has been 250 years. But no, you have not found a skull
No
or a
skeletons,
bone
bones, skulls.
at all. Not here.
That's something Alaric knows.
Yes. Good question. In the meantime, getting back on topic,
17, 19, whatever else.
24.
what you notice in this old, like reclaimed by nature blacksmith is you find like still some old weapons on the ground. They're scattered all over the ground. In the corner, at like where like there's also like kind of like a blacksmith oven, you know.
A furnace.
Yeah, there is one big anvil. Once again, not covered in moss, in pristine condition, shiny black, a big, heavy anvil.
Sounds useful for you.
I know this one. Hammer.
Like you see like a little bit of glowing energy almost like from it.
Oh, that's
Wait, what did you hit it?
my warhammer.
Okay.
Blends the water.
No.
That's my rune glow. I touch it.
Which rune?
The fire rune that's on it.
Oh. So at the moment that you make physical contact with it, and like you take a good look at your weapon. Make me a perception check. That's not difficult.
Oh, and I'll roll a 20.
Oh. Well, the rune doesn't glow up because your rune is just more like your personal magic. However, you do notice that like the edges of your blade, they have like this little bit like of like glistening white outline, and it now is a +1 weapon.
Jesus. Ooh. That's nice.
It feels sharper. It feels lighter. That's really weird.
That's really useful.
So, is there a way for us to take this with us? Sounds useful.
Look, I'm big and strong, but this is a giant anvil.
It's very huge.
I didn't mean now.
Well, it's certainly something to recover. I'm sure Void Breakers could really use something like this.
You notice that like the little bit of the glow that was on it kind of like a little bit lesser.
Interesting. It's like a fox on my shoulder.
I think it probably eventually like now on your shoulder. A big anvil. So far, you've seen an anvil, a banner, a chalice, a huge hearth that stands out, and an emerald attached to the bust.
Of a woman.
Yeah.
Speaking words.
Does Alaric... I don't think he's smart enough for any of this. Has an idea... Does he recognize a connection between such things? Has he ever read anything about it? Maybe in the stories of Icon Julius?
Well, especially this anvil stands out. It's not the same type of magic, but, well, your weapon just became unusually sharp after like it made physical contact with it for like only a second. And then the anvil glowed less, which just was odd. But to you, there doesn't seem any, like, from your knowledge, and besides, this is also kind of like a puzzle, there doesn't seem like to be a connection to these items as far as you can tell. But the only linking connection is that they're all in pristine condition. Meaning that there must be something. And of course, it's also very odd. Why are they in pristine condition?
And why only these?
Yeah. Why nothing
Some of
around
the
it?
mundane things as well, if you think about it. A hearth is kind of mundane.
Yeah, a hearth is very mundane.
A bust.
Yeah, kind of weird. Maybe we should inform Henry, because he's smarter than all of us.
It's probably more his forte of reading, especially since he has books about it.
Probably. Yeah, let's head back to Henry.
Ah, nice convenience there.
As you make your way to Henry, you notice that Henry is now like holding like the fourth like huge spire, and it blink glows up. Yeah, finally done. Okay, now that they're all done, we can all set them down. Oh, there you are. Like one of the mommy foxes, like, and they immediately spots the little fox.
Here you go.
Anything of use?
Well, we found things. So we came across something that looks like a magical anvil. We came across something that looked like a queenly bust with a giant emerald.
Okay, so an anvil, an emerald,
A hearth that was intact.
a hearth that was intact.
And
A hearth?
kind of pushes dirt and filth away from it.
Yeah, they are all just in pristine condition, just like the banner.
Just like the banner and the crystal on the chalice.
So we have an anvil, a banner, a chalice or a crystal, a hearth, and an emerald attached to a bust.
Of something like a queen.
Okay, of a queen.
I think he had a crown.
And it doesn't
Wait, was like, well, of course, King Chambert had, of course, a queen, had children.
What was his first name, actually?
Maybe something with that.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I think it mentioned it in the beginning.
It didn't like us.
It liked me. But it didn't. Didn't like me.
Maybe Alaric was like, let's not mention the hidden thing. But fine. Henry is
Well,
investigating.
He's like quickly like,
He did know that it was clean, so
Maybe you saw a big spider.
I can go with it.
this book doesn't go into detail. This book never mentions its first name. It just only addresses it as Chambert, Finlay,
Finley?
Finlay.
Finlay. What is Finlay?
I don't know.
How is it written?
How is it written?
Is it like, I don't know, 7 letters?
No, it's 9.
I don't know, it's spelled.
Oh, lay.
Finley. L-P-A-E-K-L.
Kind of like, it's kind of similar to like the word Fionbach, which kind of like means fox.
Mm-hmm.
But it only says Chambert.
Meaning. So something about foxes?
No.
Oh,
It's that one.
exactly.
The foxes look around.
So, any other names with 7 letters that you know of?
Chambert has 7 letters.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's more for my investigation later. Maybe I'll figure it out later, but it's good that you... Did you bring the anvil? I assume it's too heavy.
It's made into the remains of the blacksmith. Can't move it.
Okay. Did it do anything? I did read up on something that the blacksmiths of this city, they had something special that they could sharpen weapons in seconds.
Waarom speel ik altijd good characters? Oh, well, I struck it with my hammer and it actually improved it.
Oh. Oh well, then I definitely have to take note of that. You found it where?
And the remains of the blacksmith.
Okay. Starts like writing it down. Okay, anvil. Okay, and then that's over here. And then...
That's on the way back taking you away.
This is gonna be a great thesis. However, what I do wonder is that you've now found like 5 special things. I thought the Voidbreakers came here before. At least that's what Kane said.
So, above game has Alaric, how many other buildings are there?
There are still a few more buildings around.
A few, would you say, to building?
No.
Oh.
No, there are still around 10 buildings, of course. But
Would there be 2 buildings of note?
would there be 2 buildings of note? Well, you still haven't visited the castle.
Besides the obvious castle. Huh.
Well, what building would you think is of note?
Okay, so
At the edge of this little town, there's still a big manor.
I'm not sure if Alaric would be able to connect the dots, but I have a feeling that we have to collect 7 special things to be the answer to
7
the
letters?
Yeah. Or I could be completely wrong. But I'm not sure that Alaric would be. He would
Well-
probably just be goofing out over his extra sharp hammer, which is a blunt object.
However, we still need to take care of those owl bears. Have you found anything of tracks?
No, actually, there was something else that I noticed. I'm not sure if anything in your books mentioned this, but when we all drove in, there was all the signs of an ancient siege going on. But I don't see any bodies.
Oh, but that makes sense. Owl bears eat bones.
That's a lot of bones that they ate then.
Well, if they've been here for such a long time, I don't know how many generations there are. Right now, I know there's 2.
Wat weet Alaric van owlbears?
Well, make a quick history check or a nature check.
Hope for nature, I guess.
Suck at both. Allebei plus 0. 15.
It's very big an
Other savior with experience in high walls.
Let me quickly
It's not like we have someone who is deeply entwined with nature that definitely would know what the dietary requirements of a fucking owlbear is.
Marcella is not here in this campaign. I don't know what you want from me, but I'm just a druid.
A bee.
We're talking about Marcella, who just has natural high balls.
I'm talking about someone who would know this.
I don't know nothing about owlbears. I've never encountered them before. I know that we're basic cuddling.
You're not a bookish type, I know.
No.
This is definitely something Reinhold would probably figure out just 2 seconds after Senna.
Now that is funny.
And it's true.
So, down this book. So let me quickly.
Okay. Basically, Alaric is like, owlbears eat bones. Thought they eat meat. What's of it?
Well, they nibble on meat.
When you don't need to do anything, you do something.
Why are you rolling now? You're taking away your high rolls. Keith, stop it! No!
Jesus.
Oh, look. Jesus!
Where were you when the Westfold fell?
It's taking away all the...
So, owl bears, notoriously aggressive and ferocious. They are among the feared predators of the wilderness. And once they catch your scent, they'll follow you. And if you can't keep ahead of them, they'll eat you. And they'll eat all of you.
That doesn't really answer my questions. Because what our little nerdy boy suggests is that the owlbears would have dined on 200-year-old bones. There's probably no nutritional value in them left.
Again?
Oké, maybe that's just Pepijn die hier even aan de kortsluiting krijgt. It wouldn't make sense that the owlbears, even though there would be lots of them, would be feasting on the bones that would have been here for almost 200 years.
It does feel odd, doesn't it? It seems odd.
So
However,
that's
when
what
you
I was questioning.
remember,
if Alaric understands.
remember the owl parts. And owls do when they eat flesh, they do also eat the bones.
The bone
Yeah, but
also
owls,
falls out.
they spit the bones out.
No, they actually regurgitate it, but also, according to here, official owlbear lore, bones, fur, feathers, incel checks are turned into pellets and regurgitated, meaning that like it is turned into like little pellets.
All right, but
So no bone remains.
of something fresh, but not 200-year-old bones. Like,
Yeah, that seems
doesn't make any sense.
I-
But Alaric doesn't know it because he's dumb.
okay. I think with perhaps like Ginny mentioning it, like
I'm sorry.
it is a little weird, but and like I think in the conversation, Henry would mention, yeah, I know, but like when an owlbear eats you, it eats all of you, and then in their body crushes the bones and everything, and it regurgitates like as little pellets, and eventually those just go with the wind and dust. However, you bring up a good point. I also noticed that there are no human remains, though.
There's no
yes,
remains
what
at
I
all.
said. There are no remains at all.
Yeah, that is weird.
Found any pellets on the ground then?
I
To
don't
my
think
knowledge, I didn't look specifically for
No.
pellets, but
No, because nobody specifically looked for pallets. Now that you like take a good look, of course, intermingled with all the stones and everything, you would find like little pallets. And that does make more sense in the picture. And of course, they're crushed down, you step on them, there's mud everywhere, grass goes over it. That makes more sense. But also, the owlbears aren't here. So, maybe they're further up ahead.
Right, let's go to the castle, gang.
Yay.
probably sounds like a good idea.
Let's approach quietly and see what we're dealing with. You mentioned they were in the courtyard, right?
Well, that's where I encountered them the last time. Unfortunately, there is a little complication.
What have you forgotten to mention this time?
So, why don't I show you?
I'm sorry, but he has forgotten to mention a few very
Minor details.
not minor facts.
So,
The
last-
gate is closed.
No.
The bridge is out.
So
Out of
the last
commission.
time that I was here, I had to escape, and so when I escaped, the bridge broke.
You blew the bridge, didn't you?
No.
It collapsed on itself.
After you threw something at it.
Okay, so I actually was doing my investigation, and I was like collecting things that were around the castle on a big floating tensor's disc. And when everything happened, I lost concentration on my spell, and then the floating tensor's disc fell down, and it crashed on the bridge, and then the bridge collapsed.
Oh,
So you entrapped the owlbears?
It wasn't on purpose.
besides, can they jump like
They can jump really
50
far.
feet or something?
They can jump really far too.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, they can.
Would have been fortunate if they might have starved in there.
Let's just. What do we see from here?
Well, first of all, you see the big open
Road.
portcullis. No, that you still don't need to roll for here. Looking further up ahead, then you do need to roll. So please roll perception.
I will give you guidance because I have guidance.
Oh, dan komt er een D6 bij.
D4.
D4. Dat is 3 plus 10 plus 4 is 7.
With 17, you notice that from further up ahead, there is like feathers on the ground that are like floating in the wind. There's like more of these pellets, of these churns of bones are like on the ground. But it is a little odd though, because there's nothing, there's no animals here. So where did they get their prey?
Okay, so I see some evidence that there might be owlbears inside.
So I'm gonna stay here and set up my parameter.
Do we have a way to cross the bridge?
You mentioned you had a floating disc.
Well, it can't really carry people, but like it's meant to like like I can summon it, and like he, in this case, snaps his fingers and casts Tensor's floating disc, which literally creates like a floating disc behind him, in where he can like move stuff and it follows after him. So this thing follows behind me, like within 10 feet of me, and it floats. I could perhaps like make a quick cover for you to like hop over quickly, but it's not really. It follows me. It can't go with someone else.
Well, if you can at least get over this bridge part, then we can take care of the owlbears and
We also have another possibility, because in case
Is
things
there,
turn bad, it would be inconvenient to not be able to run.
is there like a 20... Well, two questions. One, how deep is this down to the moat?
That is pretty deep. It's probably like, well, pretty deep. It's probably like 30 feet.
That's pretty.
It's pretty deep.
Is there...
Interesting. And like Henry, yeah, interestingly enough, I thought they would, but those owlbears didn't follow me.
Strange.
Yeah.
Even though that I know that they have the physical capabilities to jump over it.
Did they make a nest, perhaps? Because that would
Well, I
be the
stumbled
reason why they...
upon the nest, yeah.
With eggs?
That is a good question.
Because if they lay
Owl.
laid eggs,
Okay.
they
Well, it was a pair.
But also bears.
wouldn't
Bears don't.
they would stay there to protect their child instead of hunting you, I assume.
I only saw two.
They might just be protecting. Yeah. Anyway, is there a 25 to 30 feet tree nearby?
Okay, that's very specific. Roll a d20 for me.
That's funny. Can I give you guidance or?
No, you can't give guidance on an odds and evens check.
Okay, 17.
Probably at the edges. You want to like make a walking bridge or something.
Of course.
Yeah, you could probably find a big tree.
Okay. Alaric is going to smash it down with his hammer.
Okay, that's gonna make noise though.
So,
They might come first.
okay, is there a 25 to 30 feet log on the floor? On the ground?
No, that's not something you just find.
Maybe
Well,
the
it's a
Albert's got
forest.
island.
There's a forest nearby.
Yeah, and
Fine.
it's not a forest with a drop table like in a video game.
A storm.
So,
You could go further up ahead, or you could like just use his floating disc to get across. A little jump.
be trapped there.
I think the log kind of sounds like the most
To be honest,
thing.
Or you need to convince Henry to come with you.
the 30 feet drop into water could be survivable.
Oh yeah, that definitely.
But how do
Unfortunately, if there's an owlbear coming after, you're probably...
That's
also, where do we get out of the water? And
Down,
what is in the water?
down the river.
indeed. You can okay, there's no map for this, but you can follow the river forward, and of course, like you can climb up those edges. A little difficult, but it's not impossible.
It's- From what you drew, there's like a river flowing.
You
So-
can also follow the river and just
Group decision. Do we break down do we break down a tree and use it as a bridge? Or do we use his fancy little circular floaty?
It's also not
Thing.
impossible. There's still one pillar standing. I think you could like jump over it.
I don't think I'm that dexterous.
I possibly could, but
Still, do we want to break down it?
I think it's.
Makes more noise.
do I?
Yes. However,
Should I
do it.
try to hop over and scout a little to see if an owlbear might be close?
If they spot you, what are you going to do then?
Hop and back.
I think it's better if you all three get across. We could use your floating disc.
And then if things get dangerous, we can always hop over it and fall in the water.
If I just use it as like a bridge to get you across, it can't like go up or move you. That would be with all your armor on. That would be too heavy.
No,
But
we
it could get you across
just need
without
to
a skill
get
check.
across.
Without a skill check.
Fine. We'll just get across on his floating disc.
Okay, first of all, let me first just do this like I helped you before.
Can we all make sure we don't have any animals on us? God.
Yeet!
That's out of care.
Like, Alaric looks in his bag. Huh?
No. Well, the foxes, mommy fox was like, but right now there are no foxes.
No foxes?
No foxes.
No.
I'm not. Okay. Do you want me to let two foxes get eaten?
No,
No.
but I know that if I don't say it, you might be a monster.
Monster.
Like, we're there,
It's a
and
damage reduced.
we're just stealthing around, and we're rolling extremely high on the stealth checks, and then this.
Okay. So, just like last time, Henry casts his 8 spells. Everybody gets 5 extra HP, and you get a damage reduced. A damage reduced dice.
Is it temporary?
That's permanent HP
Okay.
until the end of the day.
Yeah, max HP.
Yeah, max HP.
I can't.
How much was it again?
+5.
Okay.
Dus dan heb jij 29.
No, I have to
Right.
read this again.
Okay. So there are 2 things that we could do. I could stay here and wait and perhaps like help from the back line, or I could go check up on the foxes and stay with the horses.
I think it would be the best if you stay there, because if you're here, what are you gonna do if your alarm goes off?
That is true.
Yeah, why don't you get us across, and then we'll report back to you.
And you can take care of the foxes and the horses.
Well, animals are not my strong suit.
Just talk to them, you're fine. They're quite nice.
You
Okay.
can just read.
Yeah, they like a
Well-
story.
Okay. Anyways, in this case, gives each of you like one of his pylons. Okay, so make sure to place these at the edges of the castle, because if you place all 3, then it doesn't matter. But once the 4th one comes into reach, it creates a barrier.
And that's
So-
the one.
Exactly, and the one that is still with the others.
Yes.
Cool.
So, in case everything goes wrong, we technically could place the 4th one and starve them inside.
Not sure if that works that way.
Just thinking of a possible use if we can't get rid of them somehow.
What happens if they're inside while the pylons are activated?
Well, the thing is that this spell protects you from the outside. However, it's not impossible to change its polarity and make them starve on the inside. However, that, like, owl bears, of course, need food, and, like, they would need to hunt. But that would also, like, probably make them go even more insane. Because once an owl bear is hungry, there's nothing that can stop it.
Let's just not do that.
It was just worst case scenario, contain and
The problem. I get what you mean.
And also, I don't really want to risk you being trapped inside it while that effect goes on. Imagine.
fair point.
That would be awful.
It would be like an arena.
But although I suppose it's not impossible to change its polarities, but then I would need to have like
Yeah, I
it's
think
smart to like maybe do like research about it.
Why don't you go do that whilst we're just going to do this? Alright?
and we'll
Yeah.
stick to the original plan by placing the 3.
Yes.
That's an interesting theory. Changing the polarity of it. I think that the Prisonworks Consortium may get mad about that, but that's an interesting topic to like he starts like to ramble. I think that's an interesting topic to like study.
Maybe you should talk about with the foxes about this, because I don't understand any of this. Neither do these two, because I'm smart.
Who says I don't know anything about it? I suggested this.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna read up on that, definitely. Alright. Anyways, good luck. You have the thingy.
Yeah. Henry, get us across, and we'll see you later.
Like the plate appears. It's like literally like a floating disc that covers, in this case, the part of the broken bridge, and you could just like all three perfectly fine. No skill check required. All dexterous enough, even with -1.
Ik heb niet -1, ik heb +1.
Yeah, +1. Oh.
Ja, ik ben
Nee, het is wel een beetje dexterous.
ben niet very charismatic though.
Het is maar 3.
So, now that we're across, what do we see?
Now that you are across, please move yourself a little bit more forward.
So, like, do we... Is this part open?
Hold on. Because, of course, this part, basically, there's these old, like the
Tower
old
gates.
portcullis, and beyond that is open, and then you come into like an open courtyard. Let me quickly just step forward as you step underneath the gate, slowly like peeking around the corner.
So, kind of like here then.
Ja, we staan ervoor.
Make a quick perception check. As you're focusing, I'll give one of you advantage.
Ja, ik heb al 21. Moet ik nog een keer gooien? Nee. 21.
Well, a good thing I didn't. I got 6.
15.
I used up my rolls again.
Immediately, as a group, you realize, okay, time to be quiet for breaker mode. You had
6.
6.
15.
Kut.
21.
Ja, 21.
Immediately, you, with your 21 wolf ears, like, and you listen. Okay, you hear. You hear snoring. Immediately, upon the hearing of the snoring, you immediately you shut those two up. You, although you are being like now, you look down and you notice like on the ground an intricate marking, which kind of matches the description of what Alaric showed as well. You hear the snoring coming from more up in this direction, because right now you are
More like here then.
here. Now, I'm going to move the map a little bit, but you hear the snoring more from over there.
Okay.
That you can't see from your perspective right now.
I like bump it to your shoulder and I gesture for you to go take a stealthy look further down.
Like here.
They were here, probably. Here comes this is where the snoring comes from. So just move.
Well, I probably want to go like higher,
Yeah,
so I can.
yeah.
So I'll probably first look from here if I see something, because
Make a quick perception check.
my favorite. 15.
15.
That's better than
Looking up. Looking into kind of like almost a little bit like kind of like a throne room. It's really kind of small, this little castle. And there, like in front of like on like a big kind of like heap, and you see one big owl bear. And there's like one big egg, and it's kind of like around it. Lots of like more of those pellets of like as an owl spits them out. But like a few old bones of a mixture of deer, wolf, bunny, and oh god, is that a human skull?
Why would that be unsettling?
No,
I think
not
he would
really.
be more unsettled if he would
For Ginny,
recognize
it would be
animals.
unsettling, but for me, I'll probably go back and report it as one sleeping with an egg. So there could be
One.
a second one.
Oh, there is a second one. You mentioned 2. Well, Alaric will try to move forward here and just see if he sees a second one.
You do not see a second one.
I'll
Also,
obviously
roll for
go
it.
back to my spot here to overlook that it doesn't wake up.
Well, do we want to do this? Do we want to attack?
I'll probably move over here to get a good view from up here, because this seems to oversee the whole place.
Yeah. Okay. From over there, you already rolled for your perception check. You get the same information, but you are now like, this is kind of like a prime position to like get like an advantageous shot. But you know that it's very big. Like one arrow will not insta-snipe it. It may do a lot of damage though. You spot the egg as well. It's kind of like, it's almost like sitting in front of like where once would probably be a king. And
Kind of like
this
a pet.
kind of like, no, it's more like this is kind of like a little throne room that has been reclaimed by nature. And now looking into it, it's almost as if this beast is on top of something that kind of like would resemble something of a throne. And you notice that it's underneath this owlbear, but this throne is in pristine condition.
Handy for a nest. I'll probably let Alaric and Ginny get as close as they dare without.
Sorry. Dit is waarschijnlijk obscured, hè?
Yeah, that's a big wall.
If I want to get over there,
Yeah.
can I do that?
Yes, however, that would also be in direct line of sight of this thing, and that definitely will be a stealth check.
Okay.
You would know this as...
En hier zie ik het beest ook, of zie ik het beest niet?
From where you're standing right
Nee,
now?
vanuit hier. Ik wil even kijken. Oké, heel simpel. Ik wil dichterbij bewegen om, zodra ik hem zie schieten, ook te schieten.
Oké.
Dus ik heb jou even advies nodig wat handig is. Want dan weet ik of ik daar een stealth-check voor moet maken of niet. Like it's big, so I assume if it would be a Wilken, it's a 2x2.
Yeah, it's 2x2. I think if you move up just at like over here, you could still do it without a check, but beyond that reach, you would need to do a check.
Alaric would position himself here.
You're not in like a perfect angle, I'm going to say. So if you would shoot, it would get half cover from this position, because this, of course, is like this is stairs up. So it like you don't have like a perfect angle.
Fine.
Oh, you can hit
Just
his head.
Fine.
You have heavy armor, don't you?
Ja. 13. 8. 15.
Still need to roll.
Just keep in mind
Yes,
that
it
I also
did.
have this, in case we need it.
Ja, dat zou ik er wel bij hebben. Ja.
What does it do?
De future sight, dus voor een minuut of dat ik incapacitated ben
Capacity.
en iets kan zien in 60 feet, dan kan ik met disadvantage of advantage toepassen.
Dat is echt een heel slechte zin, sorry Alex.
Oké.
Zelfs ik kan niet zo goed praten.
I summed up this whole thing in like one sentence. Leave me alone.
But you are still stealthy enough to like be in an opportunity of like to make an attack. What does Ginny do in the meantime? Remember, you are still only seeing one owl bear, and you know that there are at least two.
I wanna check for more. So, because we've only know one, so I wanna go into that direction.
Mhm.
Yeah. That
Here.
yeah.
There's also kind of like an old. This is like a bit of like a side pathway towards more like another watchtower. But when you're here, make a quick perception check for me.
That is 23.
23, okay. Here, you would spot something special. There is one beautiful mosaic piece in perfect, pristine condition, shiny and beautiful, with a huge symbolic crown.
I'll take note of that. And I want to continue a little bit forward.
Okay. But you do not see an owl bear.
What is this?
One's eaten by coffins.
Nee, nothing. Just dat is pepijnlie. Dat is niet alarming. It's good egg, but not too bright of an egg.
I wanna then follow up towards
Me?
you. What the fuck is your name again? Alec.
Fielder.
I
Everybody in position.
Ja, oké. Ik ready mijn crossbow met een +1 arrow.
Okay. So, a quick question.
Het is kwart voor 10.
It's kwart voor 10. We can still do this. En hem afkappen om 11 uur. Of we kunnen zeggen, time-out.
Als ik heel eerlijk ben, heeft het niet bij een voorkeur om door te gaan. Ja, ik vind het heel erg. Maar het is
one shot continues to affect
It's a
Yeah,
Five
however,
shot.
I will suggest that it's good if we immediately plan the follow-up, otherwise